The queen of the Lemurian court carried herself with calm confidence as she walked through the great hall of her palace. She moved like someone who had ruled for a very long time, yet never forgot to observe everything around her. Her people respected her because she always noticed small details that others missed, and today she sensed something unusual in the air. She felt it before she saw it change in the rhythm of the palace guards, a soft whisper among the servants, a strange energy floating, like a quiet question that waited to be answered. Her daughter, the princess, walked beside her. The princess was young, curious, and often seen exploring areas of the palace where no royal had ever cared to go. She carried an expression of excitement that she tried to hide but could not. The queen watched her child closely because the girl's joy was brighter than usual, and it made her wonder what she was hiding. The princess always kept her discovery secret until the moment she felt ready to share them. They entered the main reception hall, where a handful of attendants stood waiting. Their eyes kept shifting toward the far end of the room where someone or something stood behind the princess, trying to remain unnoticed. The queen slowed her steps. She could feel the attention around her, tightening like a string pulled taut. Her daughter turned slightly, giving a small encouraging nod to the figure behind her. And then the queen saw him, a human, a young man with scruffy hair, simple clothes, and calm eyes that held both caution and courage. He looked different from the tall, silver-skinned Lemurians around him, but he stood straight without fear. The queen's voice drifted into the hall, steady and soft as always. "Who is that?" The princess placed a hand on the human's arm with gentle pride. "He's my human mother." The room grew as silent as a winter lake. The guards stiffened, the attendants held their breath, and even the distant hum of the palace lights seemed to pause. The queen had never heard such words before. My human. What did that mean? Who was he? Why was he here? And why was her daughter speaking with such certainty? The princess continued, "He saved me. He helped me when no one else could." The queen raised one brow, but said nothing. Her daughter had a habit of finding trouble in unexpected ways, and the queen had grown used to it. Still, the idea that someone from a distant world had earned the princess's trust so deeply that she introduced him in such a personal way caught her by surprise. She wanted to know everything. "Bring him forward," she said. The human walked toward her with cautious respect. He did not bow the way Lemurians bowed because he did not know their customs, but he dipped his head slightly in a gesture that felt honest. The queen noticed his hands. They were calloused, as if he was used to working, repairing, building, surviving. He carried the scent of the outside, a world beyond the palace walls. The queen asked, "What is your name?" He answered, "My name is Aaron." The queen repeated his name quietly, tasting the unfamiliar sound. "Aaron," she studied him with interest. "You stand in a place where no human has stood before. Do you understand the weight of that?" Aaron nodded. "I understand it as much as someone like me can." His voice was steady, but not proud. He spoke with a simple truthfulness that made her listen more closely. The queen always valued sincerity, and she sensed that this human did not know how to be anything other than honest. The princess stepped closer to her mother. "He found me in the southern valley when my glider crashed. I tried to contact the palace, but my signal failed. He helped me repair my device and protected me from the storm that followed. No one else reached me in time." One of the senior advisors stepped forward with clear discomfort. "Your Majesty, we do not know his intentions. Humans are unpredictable. Their technology is primitive, and their motives are often guided by survival above diplomacy." The princess frowned. "That is unfair. Aaron risked himself for me. He did not ask for anything." Aaron shifted awkwardly, as if he wished the focus would leave him. His posture revealed something the queen recognized: humility. He had not come here expecting reward or status. He looked like someone who would rather return to the quiet safety of the valley where he had come from. The queen lifted a hand, and the advisor fell silent. She circled Aaron slowly, not with suspicion, but with curiosity. Her eyes caught the small tools hanging from a belt at his waist, a device he had crafted from spare metal the scanner repaired with. Pieces of old circuitry, a pack that looked patched many times with care. These were the signs of someone who worked with his mind as much as with his hands. She asked, "How did you repair the princess's communicator?" Our own rescue parties were unable to trace her signal. Aaron replied, "I studied your tech when her device broke. The structure is different from ours, but energy flow is something I understand. I tried something simple, and it worked." The advisor muttered, "Simple for a human." Aaron smiled faintly. "I did not say it was easy." The queen could see her daughter watching Aaron with a mix of admiration and comfort. The princess rarely showed such trust toward anyone outside her own people. The queen wondered what had happened between them in the valley, what conversations they had shared, what dangers they had faced together. No one forms a bond like that without reason. The queen began to question him further. "Tell me where you came from. Tell me how you reached Lemuria. Tell me why a human is wandering our lands alone." Aaron answered each question with calm clarity. He explained that he had come with a small research group studying atmospheric patterns. He had gotten separated in a storm and ended up near the southern valley. He survived with the few tools he carried, built shelters when needed, and learned how to read the land. He did not claim to be a soldier or an expert in diplomacy. He simply survived where survival was difficult. The queen listened closely, and when he finished, she spoke again. "I see a human who adapts when he must, endures when he must, and helps when help is needed. Perhaps that is what my daughter recognized." The princess nodded proudly. "I did, mother. He is different from the stories we hear." The queen faced her daughter. "And you trust him?" "With all my heart, mother." Aaron tensed slightly, as though the princess's words placed a weight on him he did not expect. The queen saw this reaction and found it telling. Honest people always reacted when responsibility was placed upon them. The queen turned to Aaron. "What do you seek in this palace? What do you want from me?" Aaron shook his head. "Nothing. I only wanted to make sure she was safe. After that, I planned to leave quietly." The queen was silent for a long moment, studying the human before her. Finally she said, "Something rare happened in that valley. My daughter found someone she believes in, someone outside our world, someone who saw her not as a princess, but as a person. That is not something I dismiss lightly." The princess lowered her eyes, then looked at her mother with open sincerity. "Mother, he treated me like an equal. He did not fear me. He did not flatter me. He spoke to me like a friend." The queen felt the truth in her daughter's voice, and something softened within her. She had always worried that her child lived surrounded by formality more than kindness. The princess needed someone who could treat her like a normal person, not a title. The queen addressed Aaron. "I allow you to stay in this palace as our guest. You will face questions from many, and not everyone will trust you, but I will give you the chance to prove who you truly are." Aaron gave a small nod. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I will not cause trouble." The days that followed changed the palace in quiet ways. Aaron moved through the halls with cautious respect, but he did not act like a stranger. He asked questions about their world, listened to their explanations, and shared what little he knew without. Sounding superior, the Lemurians observed him like a puzzle, yet found him strangely refreshing. He spent time with the princess walking through the gardens, learning about their customs, and answering her endless questions about Earth. She was fascinated by the idea of oceans, stretching farther than the eye could see, cities glowing like stars at night, and small blue flowers that grew between stones. Aaron told her stories about places he had traveled and people he had met. He spoke gently and with a warmth that made the princess laugh often. The queen watched them from a distance sometimes. She studied the way her daughter walked more confidently whenever the human was near, as if she felt seen in a new way. She saw how Aaron behaved with quiet respect, never crossing lines, never acting carelessly. He was careful, not because he feared punishment, but because he valued trust. One day the queen called Aaron to the high balcony that overlooked the capital. The sky glowed with pale colors, and the wind carried the soft hum of distant ships. She stood with her, hands resting on the railing, and waited until he joined her. She spoke quietly. "My daughter has chosen to trust you. That is rare for someone in her position. You may think you saved her with your hands, but I think you saved her in another way too. You showed her how small acts of kindness can change the path of a life." Aaron looked humbled. "I did nothing more than anyone should do." The queen smiled slightly. "That may be true among your people, but among ours such humility is not common. You have reminded us that strength can be gentle and still be strong." He remained silent, unsure how to respond. The queen looked at him one more time and said, "You may stay as long as you wish, and if you ever choose to leave, you will not leave as an outsider, but as someone who became part of our story." Aaron bowed his head deeply. "Thank you, Your Majesty." When he left the balcony, the queen stood alone for a moment, thinking about how simple actions ripple through lives. She